how would you like to make your first million? And today we have Sam, which is the founder of Impact Growth Cap. So Sam, tell us, what are the 5 steps that you recommend entrepreneurs in order to achieve the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to find a problem that needs to be solved. And the bigger the problem, or I guess the more pain that problem causes, and the better you can solve it, the more people will pay. People will pay a lot of money to have painful things removed in their lives. It's like you go to the dentist because your teeth are killing you. And dentists are like little torturers. They like to torture people, and then they charge you an extreme amount of money to pull out a tooth.
That's a
And so
great analogy. I love it.
yeah, it's crazy. $8,000 for an hour sometimes. So it's like,
Yeah, the pain is hard, but it's a big pain, right?
it's a big pain. Like you can't, there's nothing like tooth pain. That's terrible. So the first thing you need to do is you need to find a pain. Now, for me, I like to find something that really improves people's lives. So it makes an impact. I'm an impact investor. We're trying to help people get out of poverty. And so you need to find a pain. For me, it's helping people get out of poverty. That's the pain that we help solve. The next thing you need to do once you've identified a pain that you want to solve or resolve is you need a mentor. You need somebody who has been, the best mentors are those who have been where you are currently and are at where you want to be. So if you want to get into real estate and you go hire a software mentor, they're going to tell you lots of great things, but they're not going to help you with real estate. And so I like those. I like the guys who have been through bankruptcy, who lost it all and then built it all back up again, because those guys know how to protect themselves and preserve their capital better than first-time winners. But regardless, you need to find a mentor. If you don't have a mentor and you just want to go out by yourself, then you will pay the stupid tax. You'll just pay the stupid tax. That's okay. I was like that. I didn't think I needed a mentor, and I paid a lot of stupid tax. Like, don't do that. The third thing to me, and is really, we're building software around this, is to help people in poverty get access. You need access. And so why does a rich kid grow up to become wealthy? It's because they have access. They can go borrow $1 million from their dad, right? They have access to great debt. They have access to a great network. They have access to great mentors. Now, I grew up in rural Oklahoma. I joined the military, spent nearly 2 decades in the military. I didn't have access to anybody with money, none. So I had to go create access. You may have to create access. You may have to buy tickets to events, and don't go to an event where everybody is poor. That's not access. You don't need access to other poor people. You need access to people with money, people who believe in changing their lives and making a difference. Like, you need to have access. If you're trying to build a software company, you need to have access to people who have built software companies that worked, not a bunch of failed entrepreneurs. You need access to success. Now, once you have mentors and access and a problem to solve, you need to have the grit and ability to iterate. What does that mean? So you go and you solve a pain for Harry. Harry says, "Oh my goodness, you solved my pain. Here's $150. Great, you made $150. You go to Sally, you try to solve the same pain, but it doesn't work because your product isn't quite the thing she needs. You have to change, you have to iterate. And so the more repetitions you have, the more iterations you have, the better your product becomes, and the more pain you can solve and the more money you can make. I say all of this, and you're just solving pain. Maybe you're just trying to save money. But the fifth thing to me is the most important. You need a reason. You need a mission, right? You need a why. You can listen to Simon Sinek. You can listen to lots of other people talk about this. Your why, your mission, like deep down, if it doesn't cause you to cry or become emotional, then it's not your why. Like, what is your mission? I grew up poor. I spent over a decade in global health. I've been in the poorest countries on the planet. My goal is to help millions of people get out of poverty. That's my mission. All right. And so I'm building for-profit companies that help people get out of poverty. That's my mission. I will never stop. So your mission has to be so strong in you, though no matter what hell combines against you to stop you from getting where you're going, you don't stop. People sue you. I'm not stopping. People fight you. I'm not stopping. People try and steal your technology, steal your employees. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Yeah,
Your
all these
mission.
things actually happen.
Yeah, all these things that happen.
Oh, yeah, they are all around all the time. Yeah.
Today I found out, our tech partners are trying to steal our tech. It's like, what? Like, this is so
Yeah.
amazing.
Been
Like,
there,
yeah,
happened to me several times. Unbelievable, but is common. It doesn't make sense, but it's actually happening. However, being a conscious entrepreneur, make money and do good things, right?
yeah.
And also being an impact investor. I interviewed the Minister of Finance of Zimbabwe now quite a long time ago, I think about a year. And this is what he told me. We're talking about, he told me a story in an interview that the government was giving loans to people, right, in need, and they were taking those loans. They were growing vegetables. They are they selling the stuff. They paying back the loans. They come back asking for more loans, uh, and they were starting to having their own micro businesses growing. Yeah, and a interesting thing, it happened to be that the women were paying back the loan better than men, right? So actually the government, they were very happy with women being these
You know why?
entrepreneurs. I I think, but I would love to hear your answer. I think because they have children to look after, so they have to be more responsible, right?
Their mission is their children.
Mm.
It's their mission. It's their why is powerful.
Very
They're
powerful.
not gonna they're not gonna
They're not
waste it
mess about
on.
it, especially they have a vehicle that they can feed the children. And this particular story, we're talking, and you're talking about access and finance, which is some fair, because what proves, right, that is not about where you live, of your color of your skin. It's all
Mhm.
gets to access, right? In certain countries, you have access to internet, you have access to finance, you have access to this, access to information, access to a lot of things that that um, that will get and in countries with infrastructure, right? So it's a political system that have a medium class defined, where people can work and make good money, like in United States, for example. Whether you see other countries in development where is people work hard but they don't make enough, and there is no infrastructure or no support in terms of access. But we live in a global world, in the global world, and we are all interconnected. There is a movement that Lillian Marie Diamond worked with. I was one of the authors of the collaborative book, A Global Conscious Entrepreneur. Why do you see, Sam, that we need, or what can be done in order to get more impact investors on board, a more global conscious entrepreneur on board this movement? Yesterday, actually, I was talking with a friend of mine produced movies, and we're talking about investing in movies, and he would tell me, Harry, I need investors for my movie. I said, look, the type of movie you looking, you have a social thing. So The only people that will invest, they are impact investor. And he's looking at me like, what is this?
Yeah.
And say, well, impact investors are investors out there that want the money. It's as important to them to have a return in that money, that to make good for the society, make good for the community, make good for this and that. So how come you got inspired about this movement yourself, and what can be done in order to amplify this voice, which I think is going to be very good. We are a big fan of this topic here in this broadcast. I talk about this a lot, about do good and make money at the same time. So how can we create more awareness, and where this passion, your why, how it landed to you, that you make your life mission to do something amazing, to be honest, which is create something to the people that don't have, they can have. I always say in my conference, with education, those one that don't have can have. So, and with access, like you said. So what can be done?
Great questions. First, I like hard things. When I ran, when I was, I used to run a lot. I loved running hills
Wow.
because they were just really challenging. Running flat is super boring to me. I love the challenge.
Well, that's a
To
huge
create,
one, running the hill.
yeah. So yeah, and
Your
like
military
adventure
background can
races.
help you, right?
Yeah, yeah. Adventure races, stuff like that. Those are exciting and fun to me. Just running, a track or 5 miles and come back. That's super boring. So, like, you got to figure out what kind of person you are. In creating impact and doing making money at the same time is totally doable.
It's
But it comes
amazing.
and it's amazing. Like you can actually feel good making money.
Yeah.
You feel good. You feel great. Like when we take on a distressed, because I do a lot of real estate, so we take on very distressed apartment communities. They're 50% occupied. There's a bunch of crime. Murder happens on there before we buy the property. We buy it, crime. We fill up the property. We clean it up. Crime goes down by 75%, and
Wow.
it's affordable. We never kicked
Where are
out
you
the
doing
poor
this, in
people.
United States or
Yeah,
oh wow, amazing.
you know, we we do a lot of different things, and I'll tell you the strategy here in a little bit. It's going to blow your mind,
Well, we
but
love to hear it.
well, check this out. So, and if you're out there and you want to copy this, do it. So we, after over a decade in global health, I was like, it all comes back down to our homes, where we grow up, who we have access to, our mentors, access to education and everything else. And if we grow up in a terrible place, physically terrible or geographically terrible, like we're not getting access to anything and we're going to be poor forever.
Mm-hmm.
That's it,
100%.
right? 100%. So how do
Or a
you
gang member.
solve it? Yeah. So I spent a decade trying to figure out, how do we solve this? And so I said, well, in the States, I'm going to start a commercial real estate company that only does affordable housing, that only takes on really hard projects and does it for a profit. Nonprofits have to spend 60, 70, 80% of their time chasing dollars so that they can, get free dollars so that they can go fund their nonprofit stuff. I wanted a for-profit machine that didn't
Oh wow.
require, I don't need to go chase money all the time. I just need to go do the work, and the work makes money, and that's it.
And
It's
it's so
self-sustainable.
sustainable. Wow, amazing.
Yeah, self-sustainable. So we started doing all these projects, buying these slums, renovating them, cleaning them up, making them clean safe, bringing on nonprofits to bring support to our residents. I like nonprofits. I'm not
Wow.
speaking ill of nonprofits. We'd bring them on. And if somebody lost their job, instead of kicking them out of the apartment complex, it's like, here, work with this nonprofit. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
pay your rent. You
Mm-hmm.
have to pay rent. You have to pay rent. So if the nonprofit pays it for you, great. It's the law. In the US, it's the law. You have to pay rent. Now, they
If
pay
you
the
give them the
rent,
vehicle, mm-hmm,
and we give them the vehicle.
they'll
Then
pay the
they
rent, of course.
yeah, and then they work, they get a job. The nonprofit doesn't have to pay the rent anymore. They don't have to move out of our apartment complex. We make more money. We're more profitable. We didn't have to go through an eviction and disrupt somebody's life. And because kids are involved, the kids still are staying in school, so their lives are less disrupted. There's less stress and fighting. Homes are protected better, and it's a simple thing by just bringing in a nonprofit to help support them. Again, I love nonprofits, but this is the system. So I
Wow,
started thinking, it's gonna blow
very
your mind.
impressive.
Who is the biggest slumlord in America? And it's probably the same for every country. The biggest slumlord in America is the US government. The US government owns 897,000 units,
Wow,
not Section 8. These are public housing owned wholly by the US government. Most of those, 770,000 of those, were built 25 years ago or older. 444,000 of those or so were built over 50 years ago. Most of those were built in the 50s and 60s, so literally 75 years old.
wow.
They're run down, decrepit. It's a $300 billion problem to fix it. And no administration, no
Oh,
Republican or Democrat administration is going to fix
don't
that.
want to touch it.
They don't want to touch it.
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money. And so it requires private institutions coming in, tearing down and rebuilding a lot of those. But to do that, you have to work with public housing authorities, which are terribly understaffed and overwhelmed. So, for example, the HUD has all these programs to help people get jobs. They'll put one coordinator on site, and that coordinator will be responsible for rolling out that program to 16,000 people. And it
Wow,
takes an hour per person to just go through the questionnaire with them that they have to do with HUD.
wow.
So how it's impossible. It's an impossible game. They can never help that many people. They normally only help 70 to 100 people, one person per 16,000. Like it's destined to fail. So we are solving the real estate problem. We come in and bring private debt and equity, tear down the buildings, rebuild them. We move people out while we tear things down, move people back into the new facilities. The new facilities have on-site support services like childcare and other things. And then we've created an AI tool that helps these people gain access to education, gain access to support networks, gains access to job creation, and that aligns with what they want. And it feeds that data back to HUD so that HUD can answer the questions. And now the coordinators can actually service 16,000 people instead of servicing 100 out of the 16,000 people. HUD gets real data, we get the real data, the residents get real data, and they can see where their progress is and how they're doing. It's fantastic.
Some very impressive. And look, 1 out of 5 entrepreneurs that we interview in this podcast, they are property investors and property millionaires. However, about this topic that you are or this strategy that you're sharing today, I, that I recall, I think 1 or 2 more interviews we had done. Um, Property entrepreneurs kind of deeply involved in a more a community based in London we call it social enterprise, right? When
Yeah.
you can make money, because if you don't make money, the whole movement stops,
Yep.
become unsustainable. um, However, there are a lot of vehicles that you can become a millionaire and wealthy doing real estate. And actually, it sounds to me this project that you're describing, something that is hard work. Meaning, I'm on the space. My first business was in property in London. We managed to sell over 5 million. So uh, working with this type of projects that you're describing, um, it requires a lot of responsibility and a lot of work, because move away, full building full of people that they are in need and relocate them somewhere else is complex.
Mm.
Then tear down a building and rebuild, it comes a lot of skills in terms of project management, in terms of the project had to be finished to in order to bring these people back. And then come the second problem, which is, or the third problem, which is they will be able to pay the rent, or what can be done in order for them to afford paying the rent if they don't have jobs or things like this. Because as you described, have to be sustainable. So uh, I love conscious entrepreneur. I love impact investors and impact investment. Um, but it had to be a big mission driving this, because it sounds to me, maybe it's not, but it's my perception. I've been dealing with local authorities for a long time in the United Kingdom, and dealing with the local authorities, with the institutions, a process that is long, exhausting. Sometimes you have to wait more. Sometimes exactly what you described. It's not that they don't want to give you the paper or the authorization or the payment or this or that. That they are on their staff, and the systems are slow. So you need a lot of patience, a lot of you're taking a lot huge responsibility. We're not talking about one house, one property, two, five. We're talking about the whole building. So tell us a little bit more. Is that really as hard as it sound to me, or is not as big thing? And how difficult have been to gather more a community of impact investors that align with the vision. I can tell that these projects sound to me that they're gonna be profitable, but probably the profit that you're gonna get from these projects, they are not to be as juicy as all the profit that you can get from other projects. However, it have a huge social impact, and the investor have to be uh, aware that maybe, I don't know, you're not gonna have a huge return or dough or whatever, but you're doing something good for your community, you're doing good for the country, you're doing something good for the people, and also you have returns, right?
So the great thing about impact investing in real estate is that the returns do not have to be concessionary,
Mm-hmm.
meaning they don't have to be lower. You can make fantastic
Oh,
returns.
wow, really?
True
Wow,
statement. We have a GP
amazing.
fund right now that we expect to 3x investors' money. That's our
Wow.
target, 3.2x in 5 years. Like, I think
Wow.
we'll get there. In fact, I think we're
Wow.
going to do much better than that. It's a
That's
GP fund.
amazing.
It's amazing.
Mm.
Why? How? Here, when we do a deal with the Public Housing Authority, it takes a very long time to get that thing set up.
Huh.
The number one risk in real estate is not the market. It's not the market. It's not the operator. The biggest risk in real estate is debt. Your lender. Nobody loses a property to the market.
Mm-hmm.
The market doesn't come grab it. The lender comes grabs your property, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. So what if the lender is the US government and it's in the form of bonds, 40-year bonds at the lowest interest rate? I just saw one at 3%. And then a grant on top of that at 2% interest. Where can you get a 3% or 2% loan right now that is non-recourse, no completion guarantee, 40 years, and you don't have to start making payments until the property starts making money?
Spectacular. Brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's hard. It's hard. You got to know the ropes, the people, the applications, the government forms, blah, 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 blah. So, but it's worth it. Now, think of as an investor, if I'm going to invest in real estate, I'm doing a market deal that looks juicy, it looks great, and then I got another deal that has similar returns, probably better, but hell could freeze over and we're not going to lose that property because it's a government deal. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
who's going to take it? The government's not
Mm-hmm.
going to take it.
The government want to solve the problem. Mm.
Right. They want to solve the
Yeah.
problem.
This is a problem in United Kingdom, in London. This is we have the government is shorting houses. Basically, they need more houses to allocate the people, and they pay the rent, right? And still, I find they even pay more. Listen carefully. Sometimes they pay. They will take your property. They will look after. They will. The government will pay you the rent. We take care of all the maintenance. We take care of the bill. We take care of everything. Okay. And there are a lot of landlords in the United Kingdom that prefer just to rent it to another market, to the normal market, where because they just want to have, I don't know, an executive or a normal, or we're not gonna call it normal tenant, we're gonna call it they want to have professionals in the house. And I'm thinking this financially thing doesn't make sense for more professional that the person is. Number one, can be a risk that don't pay the rent, and number two, if he find another job or whatever, he's gonna leave. The person that the government, if the government take your house, you get paid rent forever. If the tenant, this tenant leave, they're gonna put somewhere else. They're paying the bills, they're paying the maintenance, they're taking care of the property. Still, people in United Kingdom um, don't want to give the property because I don't know, they just don't want people they need to live in their houses. I mean, I'm not talking about general, I'm talking about some uh, situations and cases that I hear about because, like I said, I'm on the space in property, and I gather and spend a lot of time with property people, and financially it doesn't make sense to me because I'm thinking, who cares, right? The opposite, the government even have better solution for you as a landlord that actually the public out there, and yet I don't know United States, but in United Kingdom there are shortage. They are actively looking, all the council, all the local authority, actively looking for landlords to please, begging them to give them the property because they need to allocate people, that they don't have the right income, and the government have those programs to help these kind of people. And one of the things that they need to help them is providing accommodation, asylum seekers, X, Y, and Z, people that require a place to live. And again and again and again, the problem it's been there forever, and it's always increasing. And so, what do you think? We're talking about mindset. We're talking about the landlords. We're talking about why do you think that is happening from the landlord or from the owners of the property in the first place, that people prefer to lose money rather than put people in need in their houses? How when this that makes sense to you?
So
Maybe not
it
lose money, maybe take more risk. Let's call it take more risk. They prefer to take more risk to have a professional in the house than to have someone with low income in the house. With the low income person, the government is paying, so you have less risk because you will have your rent forever, and they will pay you the same that the professional pay you, and they will look after, they will pay for everything, no risk at all. And people prefer, no, no, I don't want that. I prefer to have a professional in my house, taking more risk because that professional is very professional, but can leave. And you can have a vacancy, and until you find the other professional, you lose maybe 1 month empty.
so there's this perception out there that low income people are dirty, that they
Mm-hmm.
trash the place and everything else. That's a management problem. That's an
100%.
owner problem. If the home is distressed and ugly, that's not because of the resident, that's because of the owner. And so a lot of in America it's called Section 8, but a lot of these people who rent to low income people, they don't spend a penny on that house. They're just trying to maximize their investment
Mm-hmm.
dollar. They don't care about the
Especially because
humans.
nobody want to rent it to them, so they take advantage, right?
Right, they take advantage. Now, for a low income person, if they trash the house and you report them, they lose their voucher.
Wow, exactly.
They do not want to lose their voucher.
100%.
Like they will, that makes them go homeless.
There you go.
So seriously,
So it's a
like,
lot of stereotypes about this topic. I'm
it's
so
a,
glad and so happy that we're talking about this,
yeah.
because it's any more things, Sam, that you that or wrong beliefs that people have about this topic that people think that people in need, well, I don't want to rent a house because they trust the property, or I don't want to rent a house because what happened with the rent. And it's just stereotypes. It's just things that people hear, I don't know from where, that when you dig down, um, it's not reality, right?
That's right.
And if you
Uh,
give
the-
them the vehicle and they can work, for sure they will pay you the rent.
Yeah. So for property owners, a lot of them think they can't do anything. So when we were early on, I remember our property manager said, I just evicted a woman with three little kids and she has cancer. I feel terrible. And I thought, why did we evict her? We couldn't find somebody to help her. And he said, no, I can't find anybody to help her. And so that was very early on. And since then, we were like, we can never do that again. She had
Wow,
been in there for
that's
like 4
powerful.
months and hadn't paid. And so it was like, okay, we've got to create a system that finds people to that can support women in crisis, people struggling. We have to create a system. And so that's what we did. We created a system so that we can find the services to help people. And really, it's easy in the beginning. You have to go look. I mean, you have to go find. If you're in a tiny town, there's probably not going to be very many services. If you're in a city, there's tons of services,
Hmm.
right? And depending on the country you're in, like London's got tons of services, Canada's got tons of services. If you're in Senegal, you probably don't have that many services,
Hmm.
right? It's just where you're at, what can you do? And I promise, like if you help people get jobs, you have the best renters ever.
Absolutely. 100%. Or do you think that the source of this everybody think the source of crimes and it's not about the people, it's about the opportunity that these people have. Because if you need money and you don't have an education, you don't have access, you don't have resources, of course somebody come and tell you, okay, you want to sell some drugs, you make a quick bucks, whatever, and you don't have any other escape route. People start to do things that they don't supposed to do, right?
Right.
Whether if the same person, right, you give them a vehicle that they can live and work. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter which country, which color of skin, with you have. People will pay rent. My first business in property was I was doing landing services, so I was renting the rooms. I was renting a house and making nice the rooms, okay, for people that students and young people that were coming from Europe. To London to learn English in Europe after you finish university. The students used to come to London and to learn English for a year, work as a waiter or something like that, and then come back to the countries. And my whole business was created about this because they were very vulnerable. You arrive to a new country, you don't speak the language, you're very young, and then number one, nobody wants to rent you. You don't have a job, and you are in a country that you don't even speak the language, and you're very young, right? So what happened? Everybody take advantage of them. There's a big problem. People taking the deposits, giving the worst accommodation. They were very vulnerable. They don't even know the country route. They don't even know the how to defend themselves and things like this, right? And so nobody wants them. And my whole business was like this, like, okay, nobody wants them, I want them all, I want all of them, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know that they're coming from the university, I know that they're good people, and I even know that if they cannot pay, the parents will. I don't need a guarantor. I don't need this full, real estate assessment in all these. They're just normal people. They're just young people, than come here to improve English, because like this they can have better jobs in the countries and so on. And can you believe that we rarely, and I'm talking about lots of years we have been in this business, and we have over 177 tenants, in all rooms, and this is was just every 3 months everybody changed, 3 to 6 months. So it was a huge operation, yeah. They
Yeah.
come and go, come and go, come and go, and it was a lot of work. But at the end of the day, it's something that we did. For example, right? I was asking them, why are you going? Why are you going? Same concept that you said. If they go, they don't pay the rent, right? So why are you going? No, and they would tell me, Harry, I'm going because we are not learning English, and the school of English are very expensive. Our parents cannot afford more. And I say, okay, this is the reason why you leaving. I'm gonna do an English school for you. So I was probably the first person in this planet that owns an English school without speaking English, because I didn't speak English very well also. So we did this. I took the office, the real estate office. They have 2 rooms. I took the office, cut in half, and I put a board. I buy chairs, tables, and then I put an advertising for an English teachers, and loads of them appear, right? British teacher of English, and they will taught them, and the school, it was not kind of profitable. I think that we were making maybe 2,000 or 3,000 pound profit out of the school, but the teacher got paid and everybody got. But guess what? They all went to the school, and now they are staying longer. They are not leaving after 3 months. They are leaving after 6 months, because now they are learning English. It's more sustainable for them, and it's not that expensive for the parents, their rent and the school. So now they could stay 6 months. They could stay a year. So this English, and on top of that, the people from the street, because we put the price very low, the people from the street that jump in to learn English, guess what happened? My agent was next to it. Everybody that jumped to the school to learn English, my agent was saying, by the way, do you need a room? Yeah, of course. Oh, we also have rooms as well. So it was amazing. And after we open a career advice, because the same thing, you want to find a job, and we find a process that, we write the CV for them, because we knew in UK what the employers want to hear. So we already have the template. They will find the job 20, 72 hours, and it was amazing. Now all of a sudden they can afford the school, they are working, and they're paying the rent. So by asking the right question to them, a sector that nobody wants it, that that it was a kind of nobody want to touch it, and they were giving the worst thing. It becomes actually really, really impressive, profitable, and everybody was happy at the same time. So I know some that is possible, but when you take this big project on, when you talk it, how big, how large can be those projects? Because it sounds to me big.
It can be pretty big.
Oh
And the
my God. How
government,
many units we talking about?
thousands,
Oh my God. That sounds huge.
thousands.
So need a
So
big
each
team, no?
housing,
Big team, right? Of
good
everything.
sized team,
How
a
about
lot
the
of partners.
investors? Is it tough to find investors?
It's tough to find
Because
investors.
1,000 units, it requires a lot of money, right?
Yeah, so we have a $300 million fund that will probably raise to 500 million. We have a
Wow.
smaller $50 million fund. That's the GP stakes fund. That's the one that we are targeting a 3.2x in 5 years. We take international investment, we take
Mhm.
national investment, but it's got to be people who are aligned with us
Wait, the
who want
returns are
to.
the returns are amazing. It's just a stereotype. It's just people that I don't know. They don't want to touch it,
They're
and
scared.
and what better place to do good
That,
and
that
make money and do good, and also reduce the crime. How about institutions? How about anybody else willing to help? The
I just
non-profits, I hear by that you what you said. The non-profits are playing a big
Yeah,
role, and that your best ally, right?
No, I just got off the phone.
How about profitable
Yeah.
institutions, right?
Yeah. I just got off the phone literally right before your call, confirmed a $32 million investment from a Spanish fund,
Wow.
Spain.
Wow, look at
So
this Spanish fund.
yeah,
That
and
means that the
they're
returns
focused on
are good.
impact.
I can tell you that they're looking at the numbers.
They're looking at the numbers, but they also said we only do deals that have a social impact and
Ah,
improve the
wow.
world. I
There
was
you
like,
go.
well,
There
that's why
you
we
go.
cruise through their due diligence and their underwriting and everything else. And
Amazing.
so, you know, the there are people out there who want the world to be a better place and are willing to invest that way.
Uh,
Imagine if you could make money helping people.
Yeah,
Like that's amazing.
I personally know a lot of impact investors. Yeah, I know that they are out there because I know that they are real. I've touched them. I spoke with
Yeah.
them, and the ton of them are out there. What I see sound that the issue is gather them together, right? Um, is the biggest challenge. They're very all that I know personally. To be honest with you, they are kind of lonely wolves. Yeah,
Yeah.
you rarely find them two or three, or when a group they're going alone. They I don't know. They have half a million, 1 million. They rather give 50K, 50,000 to 10, 20 companies or social enterprises that to invest to grow the thing. You find them all at this. Basically, my experience, and I think is lack of education, lack of perception. But I have experience. Kind of this in a small scale this social property entrepreneurship journey, and it's my in my case in particular it was extremely profitable, to be honest,
Yeah.
once we solved this problem, when we managed exactly what you did, once the whole thing became sustainable, when we brought those vehicles like the English school, the career advice, the ecosystem, we
The
used to give.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And so we created an ecosystem to help people get out of poverty, to help them get out of
Mm-hmm.
affordable housing so that they can make 50, 60 grand a year. It
Mm-hmm.
includes the properties, it includes the supportive services, it includes the
Yeah.
software. That
Yeah.
system is
It's,
what works.
absolutely, because everybody pay rent, and if
Yeah.
everybody pay rent with this long term that you describe, we're talking about a really, really good financial property
Yeah.
investment, right? And you lower your risk big time. Yeah, I think that I
You
kind of
make
find
more
it by
money being
accident.
a good person.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
You make more money being a good person. Like
yeah.
your your loss to, people not paying rent, you have you have more people paying rent than, like, we collect more than the next guy next door.
Mm-hmm.
We collect more,
Mm-hmm.
right? By taking
Mm-hmm.
care of our people. We have
Absolutely.
less turnover, which is one of the biggest expenses at apartment complexes is
Mm-hmm.
turnover. We have less
Yeah.
turnover.
Yeah, they don't leave. They're happy.
They don't leave. They don't need to, right?
100%. If you give them the
Kids,
job, you give them the vehicle, you create this ecosystem around that thing.
that's it.
We created some kind of by accident. I want them to stay. The whole property business is you want your tenant to
Yeah.
stay. So I'm like, guys, why you leaving? Tell me, talk to me. What you want?
Yeah.
And
You talk to them. Most operators,
mhm,
people that
mhm,
own properties, never even talk to their people. Talk to them.
mhm.
They will tell you.
What the problems, what they need. They're not people is people. People think that, oh, they're good people, but people is the environment, is the ecosystem, is the access what can a person behave and do the things that they do. And so Sam, I'm very proud what you're doing, right? And you playing this in the big league. Yeah, you're taking on big projects. In my units apartment, I
Yeah.
was doing in houses. We managed to have 28 houses at some point, but the house had between 5 to 6 rooms, so we give it or take, we end up with a large stock of of rooms, right? And
Yeah.
so, what message do you have for the people uh, that they want to make more meaningful, maybe the 401k, that the retirement, or they exit the business and they're looking for the money to kind of give back to society. They are kind of doubting stereotypes, doubting about this type of projects, whether if you lay out everything, you could make probably more money than anybody else and do good at the same time. And it sounds too good to be true, but I've done it myself, so I know that it's possible. What message
It's
do you have for these
100%
people,
possible.
for those
Yeah.
investors that they are in the edge, on the edge?
Well, there's always risk in investment, but you can take a 401k and you can direct it right into a real estate impact investment. You absolutely can. We have people do this all the
Wow,
time,
amazing!
all
Didn't
the
know
time. It's
this.
called a self-directed IRA. And if you need help doing that, we're happy to help. If you want to learn more about impact investing, reach out to me. You don't have to invest with me. Find somebody that aligns with your core values and invest with them. If you want to do real estate and you want to do affordable housing and you're not sure, just talk to me. We do it every day. We've done dozens of deals. I will never ever stop unless I'm dead. Like, and then even then, my business is going to keep on going because we're going to help as many people as humanly possible.
Wow, that's brilliant. So, Sam, a little bit more about this. If people are in love with our conversation, how people can find you, how this process works.
Yeah, so reach out to me on LinkedIn. Anyone can get on LinkedIn. Samuel Sells. It'll say disruptive capitalist. That's the guy, Sam Sells, disruptive capitalist with a beard. You can go to my website, impactgrowthcap.com. Hit the link there. You can find me, send me an email at sam@impactgrowthcap.com. And I would love to talk to you, learn more about what you're doing. You know, and if you're a good fit for us, great. If you're a good fit for somebody else, great. I'm happy to give directions or give you feedback on what you want to do. No pressure. We never do pressure sales here. We just try and help people.
And make an impact. And so on that note, thank you so much. This has been amazing. Yeah, you make my day, right? And from this broadcast, we are a big supporters of this concept, being a conscious entrepreneur, do good and make money at the same time. And I'm always happy to to have entrepreneurs with that vision, right? And creating a huge impact and for the communities and for the people out there. And you, it's too good to be true, but you can make good, make money, have great returns, and help a lot of people at the same time. So thank you so much
So
one more time, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm rooting for you, yeah, and
thank
cheering
you.
for you to do a most project as possible. And you know where we are, and we're definitely happy to help. So thank you so much, and for all of you following the broadcast, see you in our next episode. How brave entrepreneur like Sam break that wall and make the first million, but on top of that, doing good and helping people, which is something amazing. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.